Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to be talking about first trimester support for expectant fathers and partners. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm super happy to have you here. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with our weekly videos on mental health related topics and helpful coping skills for you to apply in your own everyday lives. My name is Gabriel Arroyo, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist located in Southern California. So this is the first video in our new playlist of support for expectant fathers and partners. This video is going to be tailoring down and specifically providing support and just kind of talking about the first trimester. That's a big one, first trimester. So I'm going to be talking about kind of my experiences, kind of what I've looked into, what I kind of know, and just kind of what was helpful for me to help my wife, and what also her feedback to me that was helpful. So the first thing is just be supportive, be there for your partner, be there for your wife. It's a tough trimester, typically. So it's tough. There's a lot of things going on. We're preparing to make a baby, and there's a lot of things going on. So the first thing is just be there for your partner, be there for your wife. So now, what I've talked about with other fathers and their journey through this first trimester, and one of the biggest thing that pops up, and not just exclusively for fathers, partners in general, that pops up is that drive to want to help. All right, and I'm not sure if everyone will feel this, but everybody I've talked to so far has felt this, and including myself. Now, I'm a helper. Obviously, with the line of work that I'm in, I want to help and I want to fix the things. All right, and this is definitely one of those situations where I have to relinquish all control because there is nothing I could physically do. There's absolutely nothing I could do for my wife when she's experiencing morning sickness, nausea, and all the things are developing and going on in her body that I can't help with. And it makes me feel very powerless, which could be very difficult for an expectant father or partner to go through. So we're going to be focusing on that element in this video, is how to overcome those feelings and making sure that we're still there for our wives or partners. Because the worst thing we could do is get frustrated, put our hands up, and then check out. Right, that would be the absolute worst thing to do. So don't do that. We want to be there. We want to be engaged and supportive for our wives. The best thing that I could advise is ask your partner. Just ask your partner. Right? Ask what you could do. And I catch myself doing this a lot, and maybe my wife gets annoyed about it, but at least it's showing that I am there. I'm fully in this. I'm with her until the end and throughout. Right, so I ask her, what is it I could do? Because I notice myself going into that fix-it mode. She talks about being nauseated. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, let me get X, Y, or Z, or have you tried this? Have you tried that? And I go into problem solving, and then she gets really frustrated with that because once again, she can't control it either. So she's like, yeah, of course I've tried all these things. You're not helping me by telling me the things I already know. So I catch myself and I just ask her, how would you like me to support you in this? Because it is difficult. It's difficult for both of us, right? We both feel powerless in this situation, and we just want to comfort our partners and our wives through this miraculous time. So it's just asking. Ask your partner what they would like from you. Because sometimes my wife does want some solutions, and she'll say, yeah, can you help me figure something out? Or can you distract me? And then I'm gold, because I could easily distract her with our various coping skills throughout the house that we typically do. But sometimes she just wants me to be there for her and comfort and empathize. And that's going to lead me to my next point, something that I experienced, especially with having chronic illness for myself, with having diabetes. Especially with diabetes, it's not something you can visually see. It's not an impairment that most people know of until I tell. Or sometimes people can see my insulin pump, but typically, visually, you're not going to tell that there's anything different about me. So I've struggled with that throughout my life. It's not an illness you could see, right? I'm not in any physical ailment that could be visually recognized. So sometimes I just feel bad, and people might not understand, right? My blood sugar goes low or goes high or whatever the case may be, and people are not going to understand because it's something I feel but can't be seen. So same thing with our partners. I know for me, it was very difficult to really kind of wrap my head around that, even though I've experienced the same thing of she was just kind of knocked out for several weeks, right? Just she was just incapacitated with how sick she was feeling. And it was kind of like, okay, well, let's kind of overcome this mind over matter type of thing, which I do strongly believe and do believe that there could be an element of that could be helpful. But of course, it's the right timing and whatever your partner or wife needs at that time. So that was a difficulty for me during this first trimester of when do I encourage that? She would ask me, right, or tell me that she needed extra support or distraction. I would say, okay, mind over matter, let's do this. Let's go to Disneyland, let's go do our favorite things. We're gonna get our mind off of the feelings, which helps me as well with my chronic illnesses. I need to just get my mind off of it. And then other times she was not having it, so I had to let her dictate when that was going to be. But a part of that was, how do I empathize with that, right? It's like I can't visually see it. Same with my diabetes, people can't see it, and it becomes difficult to have that compassion of things that aren't visible, right? So, and that's where that mind over matter was coming in. Like, okay, well, let's just think our way out of it. And it created a little conflict there. Because that's how I believe for myself with my own illness. Like, okay, I just need a distraction, so I'm not feeling it. And that's how I go all the time, is I need these coping skills, I need to get my mind off of it, and it makes me feel better. Didn't work so well with my wife throughout the first trimester. So I had to really step back and have extra compassion, extra empathy to know that she was experiencing something very similar to my illness that I cannot see. By no means am I equating pregnancy to diabetes. It's not the same whatsoever. And I very much value that my wife experienced a lot more difficult things on a very consistent basis than I may with my diabetes or anybody else with diabetes. So having that compassion, right? Really challenging myself to be more empathetic and going above my normal line of thinking and really being compassionate about what she was experiencing during the first trimester and putting my thoughts, my feelings about it to the side and just once again asking her, what could I do for you right now? What is it that you need? Do you need the mind over matter techniques, the coping skills, the strategies, or do you need me to just sit here with you? And then my final tip is, especially specifically for the morning sickness and the symptoms that are typically encountered during our first trimester, is practice the love, right? Practice love. Let's always remember what got us to this point. And I'm making a big assumption here. So I'm assuming that our partners, we made this choice together, and hopefully that's what we're here for. Or even if not, let's still remember that this is a loving situation. We're having children together. Ultimately, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming, right, that you have chosen with your partner that we are going to be parenting this child. So if that decision is made, let's remember the love, right? The love of what we're bringing into this earth and what we're bringing into life and being there together as a team. Once again, that's a big assumption. If you clicked on this video, support for expectant fathers or partners, I'm expecting and assuming that that's your goal and that's your intention, is to parent this child. So yeah, just be there, support your wife, ask your wife or partner what they need, right? So if they need the extra coping skills, they need the distractions, they need the mind over matter. And throughout this, we're practicing that compassion and empathy, even though it's something that we can't see or even understand, we have to be there for them. It's gonna make these things a lot smoother. And then practicing the love, right? What brought us here? We're gonna bring a child into the to this world, and that's an exciting and beautiful thing. So practicing the love and the compassion throughout this process. Stay tuned for our next videos. This doesn't encompass everything throughout the first trimester. This is kind of the biggest element that we've experienced. So I wanted to get this video out first, but there's a lot of other things that I'll be talking about in other videos, kind of my feelings about the pregnancy that maybe other fathers or partners are experiencing, so that way we have additional support, like the fears, the anxieties, the excitements, the roller coaster of emotions. We'll be talking about that in the next video. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe.